Good morning and welcome to episode 1270 of Hard Factor. It is Thursday, August 10th, 2023. Thank you for cheating on the news with us. 80-ish% accuracy guaranteed on this show. Today, I've got a bunch of bad news, a whole ton of bad news, because that's like kind of what most of it is, but also funny videos and truckers who are always a good time, and the cup of coffee in a big time. So,
and our favorite trucker.
Yeah, ooh, potentially a surprise guest for everybody today, waiting in the wings right now. Potentially, Wes has multiple ironic tales for us on deck.
Ooh, yeah,
wouldn't expect it.
Isn't it ironic?
Do you mean like?
Yeah.
You mean like what an animal has on their back, or like stories? What type of tales are we talking about? Like tales or
stories?
Stories. Got it.
Yeah. Oh, an ironic tale like the guy in Shallow Hal.
Right. That's an ironic tale.
Like rain on your wedding day.
Yeah.
Yep. That too.
That's a story.
Ironic
a free tale. Ride.
Is it
when you've already paid?
Well, it's not a physical tale. It's a tale about this lady on her wedding day. It rained. It's more like a story.
Good advice you just didn't take,
If the ring bearer was like an animal that had a tail that was waterproof, that would be ironic on a wedding day.
Right. It's true. Sometimes irony is a jagged little pill to swallow.
That's right.
So
absolutely.
Right. And Mark's got an all-time "Am I the Asshole" for us in the rear of the show today.
Yes, I do. I have to play this clip. I'm not trying to throw shade at Pat. I think that Pat and Wes made up nicely, and I love Pat. We all do. But Inception BJJ goes, "Oh, hello, Pat. Oh, wait." Had to do it. That's funny. All right. Anyways, yeah, I do have a.
I didn't get a specific apology from him towards me. It was, he said he was grumpy.
You don't want to restart that. You called him a cocksucker and a motherfucker 3 times. I feel like that's a wash.
Felt like it was, quite. It was.
I directly apologized to him, is what I'm saying.
Oh, did you?
Oh, really?
No.
But you're saying that was a one-way street?
Well, he apologized to all of us.
Right. He said, "I'm sorry for being
you
grumpy."
Wanted your own apology.
Oh, I think I damn well deserved my own apology. I was the victim of the attack.
Wes wants to pull the tape.
Oh man, I started. Well, my bad.
Well, I mean, we can certainly address it in the high five, right? Which, don't forget, send stuff in for that. And speaking of pulling tape, YouTube lives are back until we get kicked off again at Hard Factor News. You can watch us tape the pod live 8 p.m. Sunday through Thursday. Also follow the Twitter account because that's a backup. They won't shut us down. You can put porn on Twitter. Also, Al's tweets are on Twitter. That's great. Follow on Instagram and Facebook to make me bleach my mustache. You get to 125,000.
When we get to 200, I'll fully wax my entire chest and stomach like a 40-year-old virgin. I'll do the whole body.
And that's a lot. Are you gonna let it grow up too? Like get it like real?
I mean, I always let it grow up, baby. It's a goddamn scene right now. What I've got underneath the shirt. It's gonna hurt.
You gonna let my girlfriend do that for you?
She certainly can. My wife also has a lady that said she would be willing to do it. I know that your girlfriend has some skills, so I trust her.
She has a license.
Yes. So
license.
That might be the way to go, Wes. So and we'll film it and we'll have a good old time. The dogs will be barking. It'll be great. 200K. So get Will blonde and then get me ripped up.
There you go.
Yeah, that's going to hurt both of us. So great for your enjoyment, really. And all you have to do is just follow, tell somebody to follow on a phone at a store, friend's phone, whatever. 125,000, get it done. And I mean, otherwise you won't see the bleached mustache. And it's just
got to pay to play. It's
your loss, really. Yeah. Anything else? Patreon.com/Hard Factor. The Hive Hour this week, bonus podcast. Culture Wars, smashing box office records, what we talked about.
I say it in the high five. I want to say it on record because when you get to my "Am I the Asshole?" I might look a little bit misogynist. I was a big fan of Barbie. We'll get that out there. Yeah.
Good clarification at the top.
Yeah.
Nice. Anything else, fellas, before we do the news?
No, let's do it.
Okay. Cup of coffee in the big time is up first.
Yeah. Cup of coffee in the big time.
Yep. And like I said, guys, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. most of the trending news right now is bad, real bad. So
Living on the edge of a lightning bolt, and I do not apologize for that.
let's get through it quick. It's a bad news lightning round. R.I.P. Lil Tay. Real name, Claire Hope. The famed 14-year-old internet influencer is allegedly
14.
dead at 14. Very sad. The family says that she and her 21-year-old brother have unexpectedly died, and it's being investigated. So many like weird things going on around this story. Wes just dropped at the
Well,
moment.
we know that he
So
was the
it's-
biggest Lil Tay fan of them all. He probably he didn't
Yeah,
want to
it's
cry
too
on
much.
camera.
It was too much for him.
Yeah. R.I.P. to Lil
So-
Tay. Wes is going to go shed a few, and then he'll be back.
He'll be back.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's doing all right. Hopefully, you know, I mean, there's all kinds of weird rumors. Look it up yourself. Conspiracy theory rabbit hole on that one, which is weird. But of course that makes sense. 14-year-old internet influencer.
And they
Very
said
sad.
her brother too. So it was
A 21-year-old. Yeah.
horrible.
14,
If it's horrible tragedy. 14's, I mean, 21's way too young. My 14 is like inconceivably young.
Yeah. Devastatingly, sadly young. Yeah. So RIP and Wes, good to
Wes.
have you back.
We know you're a big
okay?
Lil Tay fan, and we're and RIP to Lil Tay.
You know, you need a moment. Yeah.
Yeah. I hadn't even heard of Lil Tay until today.
Okay.
And I went on her Instagram.
Well, that shtick.
You don't have to play coy, Wes. I mean, we know.
And I noticed that all she does is just brag about how much money, or she did.
Oh, just shit on her. Instead of being a fan, just shit on her.
Right. Yeah. She was just bragging about how much money she had all the time. She was rubbing it in our faces, quite frankly.
It's kind of the shtick. Yeah, that's kind of the shtick.
Hey, Lil Tay, you can only take 2 coins to the afterworld, you bitch.
I couldn't find a rap song she did either. Did you guys find a rap song she's ever done?
No, influencer.
She was just an
I didn't call her a rapper.
They're calling her a rapper online.
Yeah, that's incorrect. I feel like if you look at
Let's move on.
Sorry.
R.I.P. But like I said, lots of conspiracy theories out there, so that's a weird one. Bad news, more bad news. R.I.P. Robbie Robertson, guitarist of the band, also Bob Dylan, dead at 80. Yeah. It's fire season again. Didn't download any of the videos, but have you guys seen that Maui is on fire this fire season?
Yeah, one of my buddies who goes to Hawaii a lot has to cancel his trip this year.
Whoa, but did you see why? The town of Lahaina has basically been burned to the ground. Like,
what happened?
It's insane.
I thought it had to have been volcanic, right? But it's not.
No, it's
just
hurricane winds.
No, it's like hot winds. It's wildfire season, and so they have a lot of wooded areas.
Don't they have enough?
Yeah, but they have tons
water?
of wind. Hot wind coming through.
Can't
Wood
they just
too.
Get some of the water and dump it on
that's where they were forced to go, Mark. When the fire came through the town in that area of Lahaina on Maui, like basically everybody had to flee into the ocean. And so there's videos that are fucking crazy of like people like in boats looking at the whole town just burning down while they're like sitting there like waiting for the fire to pass. It's fucking wild.
Yeah, 6 people
here Eric's gonna show you some right now.
What? 6 people have
died?
died?
Exactly. Yeah. Six confirmed dead and the evacuation
looks
efforts.
It looks like a movie, like a
right.
The scene after Terminator 2.
That's that town, Lahaina.
It looks like when Paradise burned. What wasn't the town called Paradise in California?
In California, yeah, similar vibes. Wes, you're right.
Wow.
I think it's maybe a bigger town.
That's
here.
crazy.
Yeah, no, it's an insane wildfire, just absolutely crazy. One of the wildest ones we've seen in a while with video. Yeah. So
was Lil Tay from Hawaii?
Not good.
I don't know. I'm sure you'll have something derogatory to say about it if she was.
I was joking. I don't think she's from Hawaii. She looks
yeah.
white.
Yeah, potentially. Her mother is definitely Asian, I think. So anyways, they're in Maui, they're working on it. If you're local, there's tons of ways to help out. If you're not, I think you can, donate to efforts. I think Honolulu, other cities in Hawaii are sending firefighters and stuff, but it's Hawaii, so they're kind of isolated, hard to get help. So
good.
All right.
Lil Tay's dead.
Yeah, bad news. Lightning round continues. Credit card debt in the United States has surpassed $1 trillion for the first time ever in America.
I'm definitely helping that out.
Right. While at the same time having very high interest rates.
Yeah.
Basically, now
you're welcome.
You're paying taxes. You're paying interest and also inflation. You're paying like 8 times taxes basically now, and then you're going to get taxed on the other end. It's insane. Crazy times right now.
I finally broke down and I'm like just like doing debt consolidation now because I'm like, this is just getting ridiculous.
Please send me what you use.
Yeah, I will.
I'm just paying interest every month.
Right. Exactly. I just cranked the numbers and I'm like, it ends up being 100.
Stares me in my face every month. Like, yep, didn't do anything to that last month, did you, pal?
Exactly, Wes. When it doesn't go down and you're paying the minimum, and you're like whatever your APR is, it's more like 7,000% if you never pay it down.
It's
right. Yeah,
the biggest waste of money in the whole world.
Yep.
So not alone. Nobody's alone on that. Literally, it's never been this high in America. So 1 trillion. Congrats, everybody. We've done it. Also, WeWork. The news doesn't get better. WeWork, who just went public in 2021 and was valued at $47 billion. Tons of employees, is saying they're probably going bankrupt soon.
Yeah, those liars. That's right in the name. WeWork.
What'd they do anyway?
It's an ironic name.
It's office space. It's like you impromptu could rent out, office space.
Right. So like if I didn't have an office room, I could rent out a room and do work
for an insane amount of money too. That's why they're going under, because their shit was so expensive.
Well, basically COVID hit and everyone's home turned into a mini WeWork.
But they went public in 2021 after COVID. So I guess I don't know what.
Well, that was an attempt, but
weird stuff going on there. Anyways, bankruptcy coming soon. That's what they say. The FBI is trending.
Sorry, they could have said a don't. We don't
work. Yeah, they don't now. No, bankrupt. That's what they say. Maybe they're saying that we're going to go bankrupt so that to save it, so that maybe they won't. But they said that that's going to happen. The FBI is trending for insane reasons again. They killed a man Wednesday morning at 6:15 a.m. named Craig Robertson in Provo, Utah, at his home while they were serving an arrest and search warrant for his violent posts to Truth Social that were aimed at President Biden and Manhattan's Attorney General. And just one of the most insane headlines I've seen in a while. Well, that's what some people are saying. Others are like, he should have complied. I mean, they like, the guy was in his 70s. He was a gun nut. And it kind of was like, it was kind of like one of those properties where like the FBI probably rolled up knowing it was like a fate on sight situation. And it just all went down at 6:15 a.m. So
he has been threatening a lot of people for a long time, correct? Online with like
all on Truth Social. Truth Social told the FBI about him like long ago, and they've been trying to like get in contact with him, let him know.
They went and saw him in March of this year, and he talked to them, but nothing really happened, and then they left. And then since March, he's been saying, "You don't know how close you were to getting popped, FBI. If you ever come back, it's on. It's on site." So like he was like, yeah.
He's described as he's like a church clerk, I think, and he's described by people close to him as very frail. He's in his 70s. Definitely looked like he needed like a CPAP machine or something from his pics.
It's wild. He proved that if you make enough death threats to enough high-level people in the U.S., you can get shot at your home.
Yeah, just like to 0 likes on Truth Social. That was nuts. They also, the FBI are accused of purposely ignoring reports of a shady election PAC that was allegedly doing work in Michigan in 2020. And they are still, this came into the news again this week. They are still fighting to steal all of that Civil War gold from the Pennsylvania father and son business Finders Keepers who found it. So,
oh my God,
like, what is going on at the FBI?
They're on one, man.
It's insane. What the fuck you got to do?
Like, I mean, you don't want them at your door, clearly.
They're admitting they found that gold, right? I mean, they took it.
Or they got it. They're like, it's all litigation.
No, they claimed there was very little, Wes. They said they said we dug it up and there was barely anything at all. We didn't get it.
But there was an overnight operation.
Right.
Yeah. It nuts. Yeah, and producer Eric points out, important note: Biden landed hours later in Utah. Yes, they were checking in on him to before the thing. They still handled it in a very interesting way for online comments only.
We should be careful what we say. We don't want the
new
FBI
precedent
coming over and shooting us, but he was threatening the president.
Those
a
old
new
guys,
precedent in the United States. That is a fact set by that raid.
Those old guys, though, they will, when you get to an age and you become that crazy and you got
that's what all
a lot of years
friends
to live.
said. They were like, he's just a nut, and he says stupid shit online. He would never leave his house.
In a way,
but what I'm saying is they might be the most dangerous because this is how they want to go out.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
in a twisted way, it was almost
that's of course what the FBI is saying. They're like, he's a terrorist. Yeah.
Right.
So, but a lot of people close to him are saying that he could barely walk. So could he see and could he squeeze?
He
did own a ton of guns. He was 74 and obese and owned a ton of guns. Yes. That was Craig Robertson of Provo, Utah.
If you're listening, FBI, I say great job, and you got no problems with me. Keep up the good work, boys.
The FBI, folks. Hope you steal that gold from that father-son company that gave it to
losers, you. Right?
So right after starting creator payouts, Twitter was fined $350,000 by the DOJ for not turning over access to Trump's account. Hopefully those payouts don't clean up or dry up, because that was nice for content creators if it could last a couple more weeks. And then
I gotta stop you again. I'm sorry, but
what?
Live comment from Corey Webb said he was strong enough to type.
He was. He had thumbs.
He could type those
his stubby diabetic thumbs were so furious on Truth Social.
That's gonna be me one day.
Oh yeah.
By myself, obese, and just typing away.
Careful what you type. By then, the FBI might have already killed you. But yeah,
man,
I can see it now.
R.I.P. to Craig Robertson in Provo, Utah. At least he lived to 74. Insane, and he will be forever remembered, because that is like, I mean, that is a huge precedent that's being set by federal law enforcement right
and
there.
The reason why was because there's absolutely zero reports of him firing, right?
Well, I don't know. Yeah. I don't want to get all into that. There's not a lot of solid shit.
If he fired first, we'll update. But if he didn't
fire first, they should have lit his ass up. But if he didn't fire first, very different.
If he didn't fire, it's an insane precedent.
No matter how you slice it, this is a huge precedent-setting moment for federal law enforcement at his house for online comments only. No matter how you slice it,
it's wild.
Huge precedent-setting moment.
It's like a no-knock situation.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. Look,
maybe,
I mean,
maybe
it for online comments only. First time it's ever been done.
He was dealing threats instead of drugs.
Yeah. I mean, first time it's ever been done for, I think, I can recall. U.S. Senator Dianne Feinstein, fresh off of giving over power of attorney, fell at her home and had to be taken to the hospital in San Francisco. She is back. She says she's fine.
Shame on her.
She's still serving, but no power of attorney, and in the hospital for a fall at home. OJ is complaining about Henry Ruggs not getting enough time on his 10-year sentence. Marlon Mack tore his Achilles, and worst of all, no Mega Millions for any of us. It was one Florida man who won the Mega Millions. That is the bad news lightning round.
Yeah, I don't know if we get to find out who either, because can Florida remain anonymous?
I don't know. I hope not. Hope we can find out. Okay,
OJ is just tempting fate.
Click on that, will you, Eric, please?
OJ complaining about his treatment in the justice system never gets old, and I think he gets off on it. He's just
he does. Yeah,
that's his thing now. Like, he just is like, I'm just gonna rub it in everybody's face.
Yeah,
all right,
if I complain, I'm innocent. If I complain a lot, then that means I'm innocent.
9-33. All right, real quick, funny video palate cleanser. You guys want the disintegrating aging expert from Shane, Seagal's extremely horny music from Rick, or San Francisco 7-Eleven taming the homeless with music from Bryce. Which one of those 3 videos would you like to see? To
the latter more tied to the show. I feel specifically Seagal. It's like
Seagal.
Yeah,
it's got to be Seagal, right?
Fuckers up to.
It's got to be Seagal, West's arch nemesis. Listen to how horny Steven Seagal is in one of his studio record albums. Listen to this.
You make me feel nice. Why? Tell me where you really want all night.
Me want the bananas if I make me nice. Me
want the bananas.
Sometimes the way you talk is so hot. Now you know, let's have a shot of rum. Then me can make you come with me to the ocean.
It's like a J.B. Rasta sting.
You can be my bowcat. Nice vital breeze. Bring it to your knees. Jamming.
Yo, this is now.
I want the punani. That's Steven Seagal.
What a poser.
Yeah.
Steven
Isn't
Seagal,
that like what's it called? Cultural appropriation for crying
It
out loud?
really is.
What the fuck was that?
Really is.
Yeah, he's like the original Chet Hanks, Steven
Yeah,
Seagal.
that was ridiculous.
He's like the action star Chet Hanks. All right. We've made him wait long enough. Let's get to
The cream of the crop.
And if you didn't know, here at Hard Factor, we love truckers. We did a Lot Lizard documentary back around the 2008 recession when things got bad for all the little guy truckers out there. And here again, we're at a pivotal moment in trucking history and need to call in an expert to help us navigate it. So welcome to the show, longtime Hardo Hive member, trucking influencer, podcaster, Marine veteran, and Hive Island inaugural trip to Treasure Island, Florida veteran, Michael Lompard of Lompard Trucking. Here he is.
Gentlemen, so glad to be here. And unlike the rest of the fake news media out there, you do what others don't do in the media. You came to the drivers for news. You came to a driver, not the ATA, which is just a lobbying organization for large retail carriers who don't represent drivers. You came to who actually has the news for you. So I appreciate it. Glad to be here.
We appreciate you.
Right now, I'm coming at you live from Lafayette, Indiana. Gorgeous, right off 65.
Beautiful.
Yeah, the truck stop
Fantastic.
there.
I'm actually in the parking lot of a Planet Fitness where the gains will continue until freight rates improve.
So is that where you typically post up? I know you work out a lot. So you kind of like plan Planet Fitness to Planet Fitness on your routes a little bit?
Yeah, when I route plan, depending on like where I know I'm going or where I'm stopping along the way, I'll see what cities nearby. I'll see if there's a Planet Fitness. If not, I'll find whatever truck stops are nearby. Sometimes a Walmart.
Screw Planet Fitness. What's the best pancake in America? You probably know.
The best pancake in America, you'd probably have to, and this is a shout out, you'd probably have to go to Dutch's Diner in West Haven, Connecticut. But man, I don't know. It's a tough call. There's really good breakfast out in Belfourche, South Dakota at a Sinclair though. So I'll give it to you that.
You ever go through Virginia?
Yeah, I've been up and down 81 a lot. Frequent flyer at the White's Travel Plaza in Raffine, actually.
Ooh.
Go to Tammy's Diner in Round Hill and then talk to me.
All right,
wow.
I'll give it to you.
Whoa.
Okay.
Virginia, that's 81 is the Shenandoah Speed Valley.
Yes.
Yeah, Virginia, known for their food, for their excellent food.
Went to Virginia Tech and had to drive up 81, 4 hours back home. It's 5 times a year and got speeding tickets galore. And that's a tough road.
Yeah. It is. That's a long stretch of highway. Yeah, it's and it plus like it gets snowy, windy. But let's get to the news, fellas. Why
maniacs and trucks on that road?
Yeah, tons of them. Not yellows right now, and that's why we got to talk to Lompard. Okay, so why Lompard is here is to help us understand what's going on in the trucking world right now, because 2 huge pieces of news, 2 big ones, just broke in the last several days. Number one, yellow trucking. You guys know what yellow trucks look like. You've seen them on the road before.
Yes.
Here they are. Okay, yellow trucking, a dominant player in the less than truckload or LTL shipping industry, has declared bankruptcy, I think officially on Monday, and they're looking to sell and or shut down. And that's 30,000 employees. And this is at the same time as number 2, 340,000, I think, Teamsters at UPS will be getting raises from an average of $95,000 a year right now to $170,000 a year, including benefits
nice
in the next 5 years. Yeah, very nice. Thanks to their new labor deal with UPS. So people are shocked at the pay for UPS Teamsters, but inflation paved the way to make that happen. At the same time, Yellow Trucking are now blaming the Teamsters for their shutdown, while the Teamsters say that their 22,000 Yellow Trucking members didn't even have any work coming in. So fuck you, Yellow Truck, is what the teams are saying. So what's the truth, Lompard, as a trucker on the road, knowing what's happening?
Well, so the truth is, I mean, overall, the president of the Teamsters, Sean O'Brien, he definitely, in theory, was leaving Yellow out to dry. Why? Because he was putting 22,000 union drivers at risk. And I think that was more of a show of force to see how strong the Teamsters are with UPS. But the truth behind Yellow
he kind of did Yellow, and he's like, don't let us do this to you, UPS. Look what I'm going to do.
Yellow was a long time coming. Like this bankruptcy with Yellow should have happened quite some time ago. Yellow saved himself from bankruptcy back in the first recession, and they've been bailed out by the Teamsters before. See, back at the end of 2009, they were in like horrible shape, and they ended up going through this $470 million debt for equity swap, and then also at the same time, the Teamsters made concessions in their wages. They made a 10% wage cuts in exchange for a 15% stake of the company. Then later that year, they had another round of wage cuts, but this time at 5%. And they had an 18-month cessation of pension fund contributions. That would be required for that debt for equity deal to be done. So Yellow has been doing all this stuff. And then Yellow, meanwhile, was bailed out. And they had a $700 million COVID bailout, which they essentially spent on G-Wagons and trips to Vegas. This is a company that's had 96 vice presidents over time. This is just a poorly managed company from the top down.
So the Teamsters kind of maybe took advantage of that fact, right? It sounds like a little
yellow mellow, and also there weren't yellow trucks; like they were white.
You can't trust a company with an orange logo with the name of Yellow,
right?
It is weird, right?
And with Yellow drivers, a lot of
colorblind. They think we're colorblind or something. Or
the Yellow driver, like the Teamsters could have, tried to authorize a strike or anything, but Yellow drivers stayed for the most part because the benefits were that good. Their health care was some of the best in the industry. So for those union workers to stick around that long, for a company that wasn't showing up for them, the story between Yellow and UPS are just two different tales that are going on, where I think the news and the media are trying to paint them out as being similar. How can UPS be getting a raise? And we're looking at this curious case of Schrodinger's trucker now, because, we're just 3 years ago, these truckers were these essential workers and these heroes. And now everyone's angry that UPS drivers are now getting raises.
Well, no. I think,
right? That's a good thing,
I think
right?
most people should be happy.
Yeah.
It shows how big inflation is. Yeah, sure. Jealous, but also happy for them, right? But the same time, it shows how big inflation is. Look, you can't get that kind of a concession from a giant corporation like UPS without having data to back it up. And so, what happens for regular truckers? Like, what's the fallout? Because now these 30,000 Yellow truck drivers, they need work. Everybody else, because I read that Yellow was some of the undercutters, so I'm assuming they had a lot of under the table drivers too. How does this all work for drivers now, and what happens from here?
Who takes the most? So it's 30,000 employees total, 22,000 drivers, and who I feel bad for the most is those drivers, because they're now going out into the workplace where a lot of companies don't want to hire them. Because me personally, if I'm the Teamsters, I'm sending those guys out to the mega carriers like Werner, Schneider, AT8 affiliates, and I'm going to try to unionize them. But a lot of companies don't want to hire union labor for that reason, out of fears. Now in the trucking industry, total
bad locker room guys at a non-union place.
Exactly.
Well, non-union places, they'll definitely won't let you in. Yeah, right. Yeah.
But essentially, when it comes to the market, other LTL carriers definitely have the capacity to soak up this freight. I don't work in LTL. I've never done partial truckloads. I've only worked in full truckload. I currently haul oversized and heavy haul, and it really won't have an effect on the rates, which are at historic lows currently in the market. With a lot of demand has really sunk. Now I tell you one thing: if you're looking to ship anything by container on a ship, now is the cheapest to do it. Truck rates are almost at the same as rail rates. So it's just,
is it because they scaled up so big for COVID and then it's kind of died down as the economies have cooled down, kind of?
COVID was definitely a factor of having to keep, because of trying to create this excess inventory in case of lockdowns or emergencies or whatever. So there was definitely, warehouses definitely eventually became full. That definitely plays a huge factor. Demand has definitely plummeted because there was this narrative put out there by the ATA of this mythical driver shortage, which is not real. It's really just a turnover issue that they refuse to address. And a lot of motor carriers entered the market. Thousands of motor carriers entered the market within the last 2 years. And just within the first quarter of this year, 9,000 motor carriers exited the market.
Damn. Yeah, so how are you going to get the rates then? Like what can people do to help try to get lower rates? Because it sounds like union guys, they're kind of doing pretty good. If you're in good with one of these non-union like large carriers, you're good. But what about the 22,000 like union members that don't have a carrier now, and then everybody else is just looking for loads?
Yeah, I mean, the best place to be is being with a company driver. Yeah, I'm always looking for loads. I'm always looking for hot loads in my area. But, the other LTL carriers seem to have done fine. And when it comes to the Teamsters, I think the Teamsters did their job in the LTL world. The other carriers out there like Estes, Old Dominion, and these are non-union ones. The non-union companies are some of the best paying in the industry with some of the best benefits, which means that the Teamsters raised the standard of of how these drivers should be treated.
That'll be good for everybody. It'll be good for everybody.
So they could go to the other companies like Saya and T4, the union guys like T-Force and ABF. There are other union carriers out there they can go to, but some may leave the industry altogether, pouring into the turnover.
That's crazy.
What about your side, the the full size? What's going on there?
I mean, it's definitely been called by freight waves as a trucking bloodbath. That's essentially what 2023 has been. Carriers have been leaving the market. I was just speaking to a driver recently who he was doing a floral load that it paid him to the truck as a carrier.
That nice. Bet he gets laid all the time.
Yeah.
He got paid $3,500 for that load, and now it's been undercut by bottom feeding carriers out there who are hauling it now for $800. And now that commodity hasn't gotten any cheaper to the consumer.
Whoa.
So it's like,
that's the thing is obviously demand might be lower, but to Will's point earlier, like the price of the goods you're hauling are more. So like there's more
gas
money that
too.
You're hauling. Right. And so like someone's making money, but
it's just the undercutting, right? Everybody's just undercutting. And how does that happen? Is it because people are using, non like certified drivers, or how does that, like,
people got to eat?
Well, a lot of carriers entered the market within the last 2 years. They bought a lot of new equipment. It was very expensive. And so now they have to keep the wheels turning in order to keep money coming in. And they're just trying to stay alive. But there's also a lot of carriers that are in this market that are bad players. The Chicago market, there's a stereotype in this industry for the Chicago-based carrier. These are Eastern European crime syndicates operating in this country that falsify logs, and they are hiring indentured servitude as labor. There's a
he slept for 6 hours. He slept.
Yeah,
it's hard to compete with a methed up guy who just got shipped over straight from
Chicago.
A
historically has been shady with the business.
That guy,
strong solo survey.
So many loads. You're never.
These Chicago guys are getting all sorts of loads off.
But these guys will take so the old immigrants, what they'll do, and this is not conspiracy. This is from Nat Geo. This is from The Guardian. There are older immigrants that will get drivers from their home country to come in, and they'll lock them into contracts, and they'll 1099 them as contractors, and they will pay them basically slave wages, and they'll hold their immigration hostage. Just as happening at our ports.
Essentially,
it's happening at our ports.
Right?
Indentured servitude.
Yeah,
it's happening at the Port of Galveston right now as we speak. It's happening in Chicago, Long Beach, you name it.
There's two topics that are kind of hot topics. They're being discussed in the live chat right now. First one is talking about Amazon and how one of the larger SAIA has maybe stopped working with Amazon. And can you talk about like what's going on with Amazon?
Yeah, so I was actually just reading about that today on Twitter. Freight Twitter, by the way, tune in. We're always talking logistics there, or Freight X, I guess you can call it. Yeah, we get lit in there. But essentially, Saya is picking up this capacity
taking loads
from the yellow fallout. So through Yellow's fault, Seiya's like, and what the source from that saying is Seiya doesn't want to send their drivers anymore because their drivers are being held up at Amazon warehouse, costs too much time, it doesn't make them that much money, they're not making a lot. Meanwhile, the soaking up of Yellow's capacity is paying more, so they're not going. And Amazon genuinely loves to give their freight away to bottom feeder carriers because Amazon loves everything at the bottom dollar.
Right, lowest price. Yeah,
that's the word out there is they might not be the highest paying. They might be
basically
there's looking away at certain things. Yeah.
There's this race to the bottom, right? That like kind of, but it seems like the race to the bottom kind of ended badly for Yellow. So maybe that'll be good for truckers in the end because they kind of lost everything by being cheap as fuck, right? So like maybe it'll make the other companies sort of like wise up a little bit, hopefully.
I'd like to remain positive on it. I think that Sean O'Brien did the right thing by hanging Yellow out to dry. They've been a zombie company for the past 10 to 15 years. This was inevitably going to happen. And obviously we could see what the standard is being now set at UPS. And we're seeing what the standard is being set by how Taylor Swift treats her drivers. So,
that's true. I saw that.
There are people out there who are clearly trying to set the standard on what the right thing to do, on how to treat your most essential workers. And, hopefully some of these larger companies can follow suit.
As soon as we have the money,
because you bring us gifts, truckers bring.
Oh, truckers are the best. You got to treat your truckers, delivery people, postal service, everybody good. As soon as we have the money, Lombard, I think we should invest in a mobile studio that you could just truck us around in.
Oh, we could do a podcast from the back of a truck.
Yeah. And then we could
get one of those
always be on the move.
Sleepers. Yeah, super sleepers. One of those W9 super sleepers. Yeah, that go way back.
Badass.
I have one other topic that it's this, but autonomous trucking. What's the update on that?
Oh yeah, they're building the robot.
You know where I stand. We're on the front line of the war against the AI. I'm with you there, but any news on autonomous trucking or anything like that? Any words about it?
Some good news lately. Yeah, I know that the execs over at Aurora and Waymo definitely check their bed every night to make sure I'm not under it. But so Waymo is actually scaled back their autonomous trucks. They're taking them off the road. Waymo is going all in on their cabs, and they're realizing that they 5-6 years ago, when they were so confident on this LiDAR technology and all this stuff, and especially with companies like Too Simple, they're realizing it's a lot harder than it seems, especially when it comes to weather. So in perfect conditions, 70 degrees, no wind, snow, they can do these because these trucks, the Waymo trucks, have been on I-45, they've been on Interstate 10. I've seen them. They're blue Peterbilts. They may still be out there, but Waymo's drawing it back. I know Aurora is still pretty much all in on it. They think that they're going to have a fully autonomous fleet out by the end of next year or in 2025.
But so they think that they can deal with the weight, wind, and weather that Waymo couldn't. But Waymo's been testing way longer, so maybe it's good. Maybe that's good news too, for especially it at least delays
hope it never
AI
happens.
Truck drivers, right? Yeah, hopefully it doesn't happen at all, right? But then at least delays it to the point where these people pushing for better labor, agreements right now have more leverage. So
the two biggest hurdles I think they're going to come in touch with are the insurance side of things, because who knows what insurance companies are going to do in this case. Right. How are they going to insure cargo and liability when there's no operator? Who's responsible? Right. And then the next is legal ones. There are states right now who are currently trying to pass laws that you can't have fully autonomous, without an operator in it. But here's the thing: you can't keep the seats filled with the trucks non-autonomous. So how are you just going to lower the wage down to keep some guy in a truck to where if something goes wrong, he's just going to snap to and solve it? So those
you still have to pay that guy. Yeah.
You're still you have to pay him a prevailing wage. So it's just, I don't see it happening off the rip.
I will tell you what, I'd feel a lot more comfortable robbing an autonomous truck, than non. I wouldn't lose any sleep knocking off an autonomous.
That's a great point. That's a great point, Mark. But the companies are going to have to grapple with that. Yeah. Thank you, Lompard Trucking.
Wait. I got a question for Lompard.
What's up, Wes? Go ahead. Hit him with the last.
I haven't understood a lot of what he said, but the whole time I've been thinking about, I got a business idea for you. Okay, so you have a nice truck, right? And you've got this like cab in the back. What if you rented out the truck as like it's like a bucket list like fucking experience. You park your truck in a truck stop, and then you let a couple stay overnight. They get to fuck in the 18-wheeler.
It's just like West Shack penthouse.
Yeah, penthouse West Shack. You get access to the whatever whites. You get some drugs. You get to hop on the CB radio, have some fun, get hammered in the truck stop, and fuck. That would be, a
lot leisure experience.
Yeah, I'd pay $500 a night for that.
Yeah,
holy dude. Yeah, this solves the West Shack dilemma that's always been discussed on the show. But
fucking a truck experience. The fucking
this is the next level of West Shack.
Fucking a truck, it rhymes too.
Yeah, fucking a truck.com.
Some people when they retire,
that's
they'll just
owned,
use
right?
their. They'll
I'm gonna buy it right
old
now.
guys will use their truck as like an RV when they retire. And they can use that. And now it's like. That kind of Airbnb your truck out.
Exactly.
I mean, you can hire someone to clean it too for like cheap. You don't have to clean the splooge yourself. Like you
put some the sheets over the bed and stuff. Yeah,
I love it.
Security deposit.
I love the movie Over the Top, and now I kind of wish that it was this instead of arm wrestling.
I've always wanted to sleep in a truck, 18-wheeler. I don't know why.
This is just the movie On Top.
Yeah. I think it's brilliant.
I mean,
remove the top.
I mean,
imagine how embarrassed his son would be of him if that was his job instead of arm wrestling.
I'm telling you, there's people out there that have always wanted.
Oh no, people will pay for it. People will pay
talk
for
to my wife
it.
about it after the show.
Yeah,
see what she thinks.
I'm not saying that.
Hop on the radio all night, get hammered.
I could take you to the West Memphis, Arkansas Loves anytime, and you could see how just gorgeous some of these places are. The Petro in Jackson, Mississippi.
Oh, yeah.
Petro in Gary, Indiana. You can hear the gunshots. It's great sometimes.
You can get good views. You're right.
Yeah. Well, if it doesn't work out, you can use your truck for that.
No, that's a fucking phenomenal idea. I appreciate it. I'm going to take that to the bank.
Okay.
We love you, Lombard. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, gentlemen, thanks again for having me on. I really appreciate it. Couldn't thank enough. I talk this stuff any day for anybody who wants to talk logistics. I got a show out there, the Lompard Trucking Show. Check it. Yeah, check it out.
Where can they find you?
Wherever you get your
Lompard
podcasts.
Trucking.
It's also on YouTube. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you want. We're always talking freight. So you guys go out there and be great.
Nice. Thank you, buddy.
He's got a very positive energy. If you follow him on Instagram, it's uplifting.
Oh yeah, get in there.
I enjoy it.
Yeah,
good. Gotta follow him. He's the best. He wears some bikinis sometimes, some mankinis. Shows off the goods. He's in great shape though.
He should really be our next personal trainer for the Fatathon. Honestly,
it's true.
Yeah, that's true. We need to get worked out by him and Big Fudge. Both of them.
Yeah, they both. Yeah,
both of them.
You could do a military workout.
Into shape. Yeah. Well, they both have experience.
Breaking news before you end the coffee. Will this was speculated before we texted.
Right. This was what we're talking about the conspiracy stuff. Here you go. Go ahead, Mark.
So Corey Webb says Lil Tay, and he didn't know who she was, like Wes, is not dead. Vancouver and LA police departments both denied they're investigating her death and made an Instagram post under the account something else. And a lot of speculation right before showtime was that her father is abusive and may have taken over her social media accounts and faked her death all day on Wednesday. So there's very much speculation on whether Lil Tay is alive or dead.
Right. That's why I kept saying
brother was dead too.
Right. But that was also,
that's
they're either both dead or neither are dead.
Right, exactly. It could be a huge, stinky, fishy situation there. Anyways, hopefully people are feeling good.
We'll see. Hopefully she's alive.
Yeah, right. I mean, that'd be better, right? You'd be feeling good. You want to be being able to order stuff from your favorite trucker. And that cup of coffee in the big time was brought to you by the best thing that you can order for yourself to be brought to you in a truck. And I'm talking about Factor meal kits. Factor is America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit, and it can help you fuel up fast with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track with your healthy lifestyle. Very, very healthy meals. Skip the extra trip to the grocery store and the chopping, prepping, and cleaning up too, while still getting in flavor and nutritional quality that you need. Factor's heat and enjoy just 2 minutes in the microwave, and then you get back to spending time on stuff like not shopping, cooking, chopping, and cleaning. So refresh your healthy habits without missing a beat. Choose from 34 plus weekly flavor packed dietitian approved meals. And if you need an extra boost, try Protein Plus meals with 30 grams of protein or more per serving. Very nice. And they have spicy options too, which many meal kit delivery companies do not. So you know, those are inferior ones. Factor is the best. They have breakfast, lunch, dinner, cold pressed juices, shakes, snacks, and smoothies. Factor has it all. So this August, get Factor and enjoy eating well without the hassle. Simply choose your meals and enjoy fresh, flavor-packed food delivered straight to your door, ready in just 2 minutes. No prep, no mess. Head to factormeals.com/hardfactor50 and use code hardfactor50 to get 50% off. That's code hardfactor50 at factormeals.com/hardfactor50 to get 50% off. What a deal.
Yeah, I was talking to my son on the phone today, and I was like, hey, you know, I'm going to have you the first 2 weeks of school. What do you want for lunches? And he's like, I don't know. I was like, oh, I'm getting some Factors delivered. He's like, oh, he was like, nice. He's like, that's cool. He's like, I'll eat those the first week. Yeah.
Sweet.
Well, best endorsement you could possibly get from, you know, that the harshest audience right there.
Dude, he's rolling into school. He's the top grade at that school, the oldest.
Yeah.
And he's going to be walking in week 1 with Factor meals. That's a peacock move. That's a flex.
It really is. It really is.
It is. Yeah. Lompard Trucking, True Heart O'Hiver already in the live chat. Thanks for having me on, Kings. He says, thank you, Lompard Trucking.
Thank you, Lompard. Yeah.
Going back to the idea of fucking in the truck, I noticed this comment from Aaron, like Love Cloud in Vegas. So I looked it up. It's a mile. So this Love Cloud is a mile high club where you get to pay a pilot to take you up.
I've seen about that. Yeah, that's cool.
So they're charging $1,295 for a 45-minute flight. Imagine. So you got one idea. Well, here's one thing. You got one idea where you just park the truck in a parking lot, a truck stop, and you have it for the night. The other idea is Lombard drives you down the highway, and you're fucking while he's honking the horn.
That's an add-on.
That's an add-on, right?
Oh, for sure, more expensive.
Right. There's different packages, like you said. You can set it up with a little bit of not
it
maybe
also,
meth's a little bit risque, but champagne bottles,
champagne,
and then like the view.
Are you paying? Are you paying for company as part of this, or is this BYOC?
I think you have to bring your own person.
Yeah. You bring your own person. I mean, I'm sure we can figure
it
out.
You might get a lot more business.
No,
you might get a lot more business.
Then you're just a pimp. Will
team up.
Then you're just a pimp.
But you need service providers for some customers.
It's a bucket list. It's a bucket list
not
thing.
In Vegas, where Love Cloud is. That's why it's in Vegas.
Right. You can fuck a prostitute in the air in Vegas.
But the thing about this service is like it's more of like a hotel, so you can go anywhere. You don't have to go to Vegas. It's just highly encouraged that you fuck. You can do whatever you want. You can cuddle. Right. We're not making you have sex in the truck. It's not a prostitution ring. We're not providing whores. It's just you.
It's just a cool place to do it. Like you can rent a TV, you can rent some stuff, shit like that, like a glass ceiling.
Nothing illegal on paper, right?
Exactly. It's just a bucket list item.
Yeah,
fucking a truck.
All right. Well, I still think you might want to consider the prostitutes as part of it, but
in Vegas you can do that. You can have the prostitutes in Vegas only.
Add on in Vegas.
That's
it's some people are going to want it.
Okay.
69 at 69 miles per hour. Jared says, 69.
Fuckingatruck.com is taken. I wonder who just
bought
it.
I mean, come on, man.
Somebody just bought it on this fucking live stream. I know it.
No way, dude. That fucking a truck is probably somebody bought that in 1991.
What about truck fuck?
Yeah, it looks pretty old.
Everything.
It does look pretty old. There's already ads up. Yeah, we'll figure something out. Mark, what's the order here?
What was that?
I think you are.
Did your internet kicked out, or did you have a stroke? You go ahead, Wes.
Okay. All right. This one, this is a double of "Isn't It Ironic?" Okay. Keep thinking of this truck thing. So, I didn't upload my videos, or they got removed. Maybe I did that. I'm just gonna play you a video for this first one.
Okay.
To tell you.
Do you need to load it?
This ironic. I got it. I got it for you right here. Here we go.
Okay.
This crash at a Lakewood driving school. It happened Tuesday morning at Community Driving School off Wadsworth. The owner told us it was only the second day on the job for the employee behind the wheel. They were coming in to learn how to teach the classroom portions of driver's education when they crashed. They were driving their own personal vehicle at the time of the crash. The driver is no longer employed there. No one was seriously hurt. But police say several people had to dive out of harm's way. Hope everybody's okay.
That was an employee, not a student.
That was an employee.
What the
Yeah.
fuck?
So
That would have been a funny building if they designed it that way.
Yeah, right?
Learn to drive, and it's like, like a fake
Yeah.
car.
It looks staged.
Yeah.
It looks like Universal Studios.
It
Right.
does.
Yeah.
Like the T-Rex, and it looks like
But-
Universal Studios.
But here's them actually repairing the video.
So
Yes.
an employee drove through the Learn to Drive store.
A driving ed employee on her second day, drove through the window of the driver's ed building.
How?
Well, I actually have the video to show you how.
Did she think she was hired as the bad example person? Like good cop, bad cop?
What she was thinking?
Don't do what I do.
Here's an example.
Yeah, what not to do.
Here's a guy who owns a vape shop next door and had some security cam footage. So here's the security cam footage.
If you vape shop, yeah.
Yeah. So here she is, just driving
Okay.
up.
Okay, so far so good.
Normal
She's not
park.
slowing down. Park it. She's not
And
parking.
Oh my God. No way. So she just that was a brain fart.
Yeah, it was a wrong pedal move.
She hit the wrong pedal. Yeah.
Yeah, wrong pedal.
She tried to hit it hard into brake. Yeah.
Yeah. Now what's funny about this? So this was in Lakewood.
Everything.
I don't know what fucking state that's in, but Grady Judd got in the comment section, and he had this to say. Yeah. On the one hand, this is the beginning of a great meme. On the other hand, it's a horrible advertisement for the business.
He's correct.
That was great.
Yeah.
Denver.
Yeah. Denver. Okay. Yeah. Colorado. Yeah. Also the vape
He's
guy.
getting in on Denver stories.
Yeah. The vape guy says that if you mention the hilarity of the crash, you get half off your next vape at HRS Smoke Inc. So if you're a vapor,
nice, dude.
Yeah, in Lakewood, yeah,
that's
provided
awesome.
the footage at a discount. So
that's ironic.
Isn't that ironic?
It is. You're right.
Yeah.
I thought I was like, how's he gonna pull off ironic? I did the Italian cheese wheel guy yesterday.
Yeah.
There's other...
I got more for you too.
The vape shop guy is a responsible driver who can park incredibly, and then the brand new driving instructor. That's so ironic. Wes just went straight through the.
This is like a karate
really
school
ironic.
or a jiu-jitsu school, and like the employee gets absolutely their ass whooped right outside the store by like a stranger.
Right. Yeah.
It's like not a good endorsement for them.
Yeah. It's very ironic. I like how people have to dive out of the way. They're there to take a driving class. They have to dive out of the way. Luckily, no one was hurt. So
right.
Yeah.
Dude, if she had hurt somebody,
ridiculous. Look
you
this picture.
Ruin your life on an accident.
Picture is so awesome.
She went all the way through the damn thing.
Yeah.
I mean, this way it's just kind of funny. She can show people that picture forever and like, I did this and got fired for this, and it's just kind of hilarious. But if she had hurt somebody, that would have would have
ruined her life.
She's got 3 wheels through the building. She got further into the building than they did in planes, trains, and automobiles.
It's impressive. Yeah, we have way further.
I never stopped. I think that one of the things that someone pointed out was that the glass says walk-ins, walk-ins only or something.
Walk-ins accepted. Yeah, dude. I mean, just the fact that it's a learn to drive with a car through the front window.
That's right, though. They need to just cut a car in half and put it through the window, and it's everyone in town's going to that guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Keep it. Yeah.
100%.
Just build the glass around it. Yeah.
She actually improved the business.
Yeah.
I agree. All right, next story. It's too bad Pat's off tonight. He's our dog versus human guy, and I have one for you. So imagine this, guys. You take your family out to your town's blues, brews, and barbecue event. Every little small town has one. What was ours in Herndon? Was
Blues
called
on the Green.
Yeah, Blues on the Green. We've got one in Austin. I think it's called Blues on the Green.
Oh, no, wait. Is that Blues on the Green?
It's
right.
Blues
Friday
After
night
Dark.
Friday night live. Friday night
Friday
live.
Night
Blues
Live.
After Dark, I think, is also what they have here.
Yeah, Friday night live.
Blues on the
Blues
Green
on
is
the
definitely at
Austin.
Zilker, and then Friday Night Live is in
Friday Night
Herndon,
Live.
Okay, Blues on the Green, Blues on the Green.
Virginia.
That's
Right by the WO&D Trail. If you need to check that out.
Yeah, great time.
Or
A lot
WNOD.
of gang activity at those places. At those.
It used to be an
A lot of
MS-13 hub,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think the president of El Salvador has cleaned that up. So
Good.
Or
Yeah.
a lot of them left El Salvador to go to Friday
more
night live.
came to Herndon
Lights,
potentially.
yeah.
You never
Yeah.
know.
So imagine this. you're out there with your family enjoying some brews and barbecue, and you got your little 4-year-old girl running around, when out of nowhere, wham, she's run over by a golf cart driven by a dog. Okay,
That's ironic.
Holy shit.
Gets even more ironic.
You're so mad, but then you are confused.
It's not just any dog, Mark. It's the dog you would least expect. It's Bella,
Your own
the
dog?
drug sniffing dog employed by the Westland, Michigan Fire Department.
Did Bella crack?
I don't know what happened to Bella.
Bella was
Too much
overworked.
pressure.
Yeah.
Too
The
much
dog
pressure.
that's supposed to be keeping the community safe and drug free
Oh,
is responsible
no.
for running over your daughter. Isn't it?
Oh no, you know what, Wes? I've seen this. I've seen articles about this. These drug sniffing dogs
Mhm.
have anxiety. You know why?
Mhm.
Robots are taking over, I believe. Like drug
getting their
sniffing
jobs
dogs are
taken, yeah.
becoming obsolete. They're getting automated. And so
This is a sign. Even if the dogs are going to start attacking in society in public, what do you think the people are going to start
attacking
doing when
small
they lose-
children,
Right.
a little girl.
Right. When everyone loses their jobs to the robots, just look at what this dog did. Okay. You were
Maybe pump
warned.
the brakes on the robots.
Yeah.
Now, the fire department put out a statement. Basically, they said that Bella climbed into the cart. She laid down where the pedals are, causing the cart to accelerate and run over the little girl. She ran over her leg. Luckily, she wasn't hurt, but probably scared the girl for the rest of her life around golf carts.
Oh yeah.
And
And
dogs.
Yeah, that's traumatizing.
Yeah. And the comment section was really why I did this story, because it's hilarious. So on the Facebook post, which you can find for the Westland Fire Department, which they explain that everything's okay, you have people like Derek Shepard. That's why you remove the key to the cart every time you get out.
Okay, nerd. That takes too long to put the key back in. You just leave it. No, Derek. Sorry.
No, you
He
always
blames. Yeah.
you always
Can't.
golf carts are always on.
Yeah,
There's no-
you
there's
leave
no-
it on,
Also just put
Derek.
the
You don't know
par-
anything
the
about golf
parking
carts.
brake. Doesn't everybody put the parking brake on and just leave it? That's the thing, right? And then
Right,
it
but
just,
here's the
like
thing.
clicks in.
The first thing you do is you rig the governor so it goes faster. Then you leave
Yeah.
the key in
Right.
forever. You
Yeah.
Leave the key, never take
you
it
like
out.
break the key off in there, and then you add a little thing you can twist it.
Right, and you just use the parking brake when you want to stop,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that's it.
Right. But the
Right.
parking brake, as we all know, is easy to undo
Sure,
by
dog could
just
get it.
tapping the
Dog could
fucking
get it.
gas
But
pedal.
did this thing have the parking brake on? Did the dog crack the parking brake too, or did it seize the moment when it saw?
Well, look, the other thing we know about golf carts is they can run over 4-year-olds and they don't even get hurt. So it's not a
Right.
big deal, right?
That's right.
Like,
Well,
leave the key in.
hopefully she's okay.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Now, another post, which I thought was tremendous, is a mom calling out the fire department for not acknowledging that her daughter, too, was run over or injured by this, golf cart.
She got snubbed.
Tabitha, is it Talitha Marie says, my 4-year-old daughter was also knocked down and laying face down, flat on the grass, parallel to the cart. Thankfully walked away with only a bruise on her arm, but she was and still is very scared. Glad nobody was seriously injured. She's
Is it
like,
possible it's just the same? How many 4-year-olds got ran over?
How many kids did this
I don't know.
dog knock over, though? I mean,
Is
I'm starting
Talitha
to wonder
just,
now.
Talitha that dense and didn't realize the articles about her daughter?
No, I think it was a group of 4-year-olds
Okay.
that the dog just went right for. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, the dog's under stress, but he can't be running over 4-year-old girls.
Yeah.
It's a bad situation all around.
they wrote back, we are very saddened and apologetic that your daughter was involved in this incident. We're glad she's okay. If you need anything from us, please do not hesitate. And then this insensitive person said, thank goodness Bella is okay. And so is the kid. Any pictures of Bella? I'd love to see the precious girl. And then the fire department had the audacity to post a cute picture of
No
Bella.
way. She just ran over a kid.
Yeah. They're like, sure, we got a picture of Bella. Here she is.
Oh, man. Did Grady Judd weigh in on that one? What the
No,
fuck?
we didn't weigh in on that.
That's
one.
amazing.
Isn't that amazing? The
Yeah.
posting of the picture of Bella.
Yeah, we
looking
got a
all
few
cute
pictures.
and innocent is the best.
Wow. Those cops.
They're not
Wes,
apologetic at all.
No, they don't give
Yeah.
a fuck.
verbal meme. Those Westmoreland, is it fire department or cops? Fire department.
It's the Westland Fire Department, Michigan. Westland, Michigan.
That was such a fuck you to Talitha and all the other.
No, yeah, exactly. Michael Jordan verbal meme. It's just fuck them kids, except it's the
kids.
Westland Fire Department, and they're just Michael. That's them. They're the Michael
Yeah.
Jordan saying fuck them kids.
Pretty awesome.
That was
But luckily no one was injured. But you know.
That's amazing. All right, I just have a quick scenario
Don't
for
bring
you.
your 4-year-old around that fire department. Yeah.
I was going to do a joke about due to the overwhelming support. I was going to do another, which one's worse, but we're running low on time, so I won't even fake you out with that. Okay, so there's a caveat to this. All of the "Am I the assholes" are anonymous posts on Reddit. So right off the bat, we don't know who this person is or if this scenario is real. Right? They could be making it up.
Yeah, right.
So we want to make that clear. But they do. Let's suspend belief, pretend they're real. Also, they bring up a scenario that we can discuss what we would do. So here it is. From user throwaway for IF, which unfortunately they are suspended, so I couldn't see what they've posted since, because this was a couple of years ago, and just for whatever reason someone reposted it like in the past 2 weeks, and it's become a viral sensation that many news sources are picking up because it is quite the scenario. So the person that posted this has been suspended. We don't know what happened to them, but here's their scenario. My dying wife asked me if it'd be okay if she had sex with her ex one last time, and I said no. Am I the asshole? He goes on to say, I can't have this tied to my main account, but I really need to say something about it and have no one I can tell. My wife has a terminal disease. She's projected to live at most 9 months. I am, of course, destroyed. We've been together for a decade. I don't remember life without her. I don't know what I'm going to do when she's gone. I've been doing my best to make the last days of her life good and grant whatever wish I can. The doctor said that, she was likely to need a wheelchair, blah, 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 blah. She's dying, right? Recently, she sat me down and told me that one of the last things she wanted to do was have sex with a previous partners of hers. I, of course, was shocked. And when I asked why the fuck she wants to do that, so basically she thinks that her most physical compatible, satisfying lover was him. She gave a whole monologue about how sex sometimes is just physical and how emotionally fulfilling sex is with me, but it was bullshit. So now I'm left with this. Now I'm left with this dying wife. I'm left with this denying my dying wife a wish for my own ego, or let her go fuck another man who she feels was better. Honestly, I'm so pissed and betrayed. Blah 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 blah. What a scenario!
Poor bastard! What a bitch!
Scenario.
Oh, damn.
That's brutal. If you're her, you do not tell him. You just go do it.
Yeah, just
what
go do it.
Right.
Why do you tell that? Like that's a barb at him. Like she wants him to know. Like, damn. Yeah. You just go do it. You just go do it. She's fucking with him. If that's real, which could be, because it's so fucked up and funny. It could be fake, but if that's real, she's fucking with him.
Yeah. So like, I feel like also in this scenario, she seems certain that the ex would bang her. Like, first of all, what's he been doing for the past 10 years?
She's like about to die.
Does he not have a family? Like,
months? Like,
I guess you can assume. I guess you can assume that she's either been in contact with her ex, maybe before she even brought it up to her husband, or she's just like, I'm dying. Everyone's going to go along with this sadistic, evil last nut plan of mine.
You'd have to have pre-authorization from the dude, knowing that he needed to do it.
Because if she didn't, then she just ruined her marriage at the end.
Yeah, and ruined
and then
the
if the other guy was
life.
like, "No, I don't want to have sex with you. I'm married." That would be such an insane thing to do, right? So she probably already. Then you have to realize she probably already talked to the guy, and he said, "Yeah,
yeah."
That adds another layer of it.
Shit, there's no coming back mentally for this poor bastard.
No, which is at that point, you might as well let her do it, because the fact that she already talked to the guy, got clearance from him, and told you that she wants to do it is pretty much bad enough.
I'd be like, how about he takes care of you for the next 9 months?
Right.
Go have at it.
That's probably the appropriate response, right? I mean, that if somebody's telling you that at the end, they're kind of saying like, "Hey, don't want to waste the last few days with you.
How bad
would rather go back to this other person."
Couldn't she
my brains out for 9 months?
Couldn't she have just taught him how she likes oral finally, or like told him to go get a cock ring or get a toy? Like, what? How bad is this guy at sex that she couldn't even just be like, "Hey, you eat pussy poorly. You know, you're like, I need you to use a dildo next time because I don't orgasm with you."
I think it's more that the other guy was just a bastard. He was great in bed, but was a bastard. Otherwise, she would have married him.
Brains fucked out. Yeah. I mean,
well, if it's real, R.I.P. to that guy, because he's probably not with us any longer.
Yeah, this could end in a murder suicide.
Just like her.
It would make it tough to go visit her grave the first time, right? So a few internet comments to end the show. Most people are like, what the fuck? But one lady said, she asked, she has a good heart. That's from T.
What the fuck?
No. T Rose.
No,
you shouldn't ask in that situation.
T-Rose.
That would be the thoughtful thing to do.
I'm not sure. Good heart is not sure if that's how to describe her. And then there's a few more. Like this guy says, if she did ask me that, she'd have 1 minute left to live. He's just gonna straight kill her.
Dude,
that's from Nathan.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he's just gonna kill her right off the bat. And then
he's got to watch out for the FBI now.
Yeah,
I can't unhear that, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So once the genie's out of the bottle, Bam says, "It's me. I'm her ex." Lol. So he's the guy that's getting done. And then Steven says, "Guess who's dying alone and getting her ashes spreaded at the dump?" So that's like to take care of her.
It'd be really tough to take care of her after that question.
Yeah, especially after the day of.
He can't do it anymore. No.
Yeah.
He needs at least a week off.
Do you need to ride over there and help out with the wheelchair?
No, once it happened,
ride over. Or he's gonna pick you up. Okay, all right.
That's it. It's done after that. You can't do anything.
Here's her med instructions for after you fuck her.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. You'd have to give like the whole nine. It's
Shakes
insane.
his hand.
Holy moly, what a bitch!
It's a tough one. So
that is the cuntiest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to say that of a cancer patient, but if she exists, yeah, for sure. That's horrible.
How long?
Just don't say anything.
Also, how long was she thinking about that?
Oh, all 10 years.
The whole relationship.
Yeah, all 10 years.
That's her dying wish.
Every time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I have one last thing to say to you, honey.
You weren't that.
I want to fuck my ex.
Yeah, that's tough. So again, that could be fake. I want to point out that I would probably say no to that, and I loved Barbie. And that's the show.
Wait a second. Are people being labeled misogynist for being upset with her?
I don't know. I'm just pointing it out. I would say no to that.
It's a cold-hearted
But I'd
thing.
also just be like, you just ruined the relationship just by saying that. You know, like it's
such a hypothetical though.
Yeah.
Like cuddle with you after that.
No.
What's the point of even caring about something?
Now counting down the days till you die.
Yeah. It's a great "Am I the asshole?" But what's the point? There should be no judgment aspersions either way because it's probably totally fake.
Yeah, I think you can assume that's fake.
Yeah,
but it's been
for
picked
many
up by every
reasons.
News publication because it's
a
like
good one.
It's the best.
It is a good one.
Would you rather? Like it's one of the best scenarios I've ever
It is
seen.
a good one.
Yeah.
Good one. But for all the reasons Mark pointed out, I think that you can kind of assume it's fake.
Yeah.
Like.
Don't lose a night's sleep for this guy who's in this poor situation because he probably just made it up.
Right, I would assume.
Yeah,
but it's so good. It's
good
so
for
good,
discussion. That's the show.
Fantastic.
Great show. Thanks, Lompard. Let's bring up the wheel and let's take me off it because I'm taking the night off.
Okay, so it's between Pat and Wes for a cup of coffee because I am on the high five.
That's right.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Here we go. You take Mark off. Here we go.
Submit your stuff for the high five now.
Pat's got your coffee.
Pat, have your coffee. Wes will have more stories for you. Submit 5-star reviews on Spotify and or Apple Podcasts. You want to get them read back, just tell me what you want me to say. Also voicemails 512-270-1480. Get them in now.
Hell yeah.
Otherwise they're not getting in.
Look, we love all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in, for watching, for listening, supporting us. And please go have a great fucking day. Talk to you later.